Continuing on with the Tiger Cub, I've now finished all the wiring and I can put the nacelle back in place. I do like the styling of these little bikes. It's a straightforward job using spire clips and self tappers, and then move on to the front wheel. Tyre's completely shot, so will have to be replaced. I got a nice second hand one off of eBay that will be in keeping with the rest of the appearance of the bike. I shall also check out these front brakes. As I said before, I've got a feeling they will be worn out because of the angle of the brake arm. I'm nearly certain these are the same forks as a Bantam, so the procedure is exactly the same. Remove the two caps and start off by loosening the brake plate, then remove the two caps. Make sure the bike is secure. Lucky enough it didn't fall over, so a bit of attention required there. And then with the caps removed, the front wheel should drop down. This is the beauty of having a jack underneath the bike here. You can actually lift the bike off the wheel. Makes life a lot easier. And here we have the brakes. Absolutely nothing wrong with them apart from a bit of glazing on the surface. So I shall carry on with removing the tyre. I've been very lucky. The last two tyres went on without a hitch. I must finally be getting better at it after 40 years. The inner tube in the front one wasn't too bad, no patches, pretty good nick. But as I said before, you've gone to the bother of taking it out, you may as well put a new one in. I always seem to get a run of tyres in the cold weather in the winter. Makes the tyre very hard. That and its age work against you. You have to fight them off the rim. And here we have the new tyre going back on. Not so much of a struggle, but still energetic, shall we say. The front brake plate disassembled. The cam was a bit sticky, so here you can see me cleaning it with parts cleaner. That softens up the old grease and makes it easier to remove with the little wire brush. And then a little bit of grease. Just the smallest of amounts. As soon as it comes out the gun, that's enough. You can't put too much on because if the brake gets hot, it gets thrown everywhere and of course contaminates the shoes. So just the meanest of wipes of grease is enough. That's a lot better now. And as you can see, the greasy fingers on the pivot point, that's all that's really required. Try and avoid touching the brake shoe linings. And then clip everything back into place. Ready to go back on. All held in place by a locking nut. Doesn't have to be over tight, just enough tightness to make it, let it do its job. The fork legs there will stop it coming undone anyway. And then putting the wheel back in is reversal of the way it came out. The two caps go on first, and then the brake plate is tightened with everything in position. Front wheel is secure. Did come across a problem though when I went to put the old brake cable back on. It was short. Took me a few seconds to work out why it fitted before, but of course with the bike in the air the forks are extended and the cable is stretched, so I couldn't leave it like that. You never know when these tiger cubs start doing wheelies and whatever, so it could quite easily pull the front brake on, and of course when you're landing that's not a nice thing to have. So, new cable. Again, you've seen me do this before. Made up the nipples in the lathe, soldered them back into position, and fitted the cable. With the bottom nipple, the brake end, the solder didn't quite take properly, so I cleaned it up, refluxed it and did it again. It's not a good thing to cut corners with brakes, so if you're not happy, start again. So here you can see me refluxing. Just try and get the solder to flow a bit better, no voids in it, let it soak through the mushroom cable. Only takes a few seconds. And then with the brake cable in place, tighten everything up, give it a good tug to make sure it can take the pressure. And then we can move to the back wheel. Couple of problems here. No brake light switch. The nuts that hold the axle on are incorrect. Tire's not bad. It's old but in good condition. And of course, if you've gone that deep, change the inner tube. This one actually had a couple of patches on it, so it's not a bad thing to have changed it. I never worry too much about tyres, as long as they're not cracked or perished. They have some life left in them. If they break or tear, you can usually get home on them. If they're gone soft, they just wear out very quickly. Whereas if an inner tube's perished, you're forever pumping it up, and it's guaranteed to let go when you're on a ride, and no way of getting home. Here I'm cleaning up the brake drum. When bikes have been sitting for a while, the dust tends to bond itself to the brake drum, and of course first application of the brakes produces a shiny surface of brake dust, meaning brake shoes on brake shoes, polished surface against polished surface, no friction. So it's always a good idea to clean off all the crap, especially as you've got the wheel apart and off the bike. Anyway, that's it for now. Thanks for watching.